Ryan Lewis is caught in similar traffic, but just about probably 20 minutes ahead of me. So I don't doubt that he should be there soon enough.
Okay. Cool beans. All right, I'm going to turn this around.
Hello, Nickelpoint.
So, you said you were bringing written copies of the agenda, Olin, but you're not here.
Yeah, well, yes. Darn I-440, or 40 rather, just 40.
So does that mean you're actually on the way here, theoretically?
Oh, I've been driving since 5:30.
Okay, that's cool. Well, let's see. I think we don't really need to see you, particularly if you're about to have a car crash. We don't even want to see that anyway.
Right.
So let's see if I can bring up the agenda here. It's posted on the calendar, if I remember correctly. Okay, yeah.
Somebody please kick Dave Ulmer for me, please.
No one's going to kick David Ulmer. All right, so since you're driving, I will walk us through the agenda in your stead until you get here so that you don't have to do that. The opening is the call to order. So I guess we can consider that done. And then there's the adoption of the agenda. Actually, you should be doing this. Can you read what's here?
Adopting the agenda.
As the vice chair.
Okay. Yeah. So there's the agenda.
Anybody? This is
Who
it.
wants to adopt it?
Anybody have any problems with the agenda? No one objects, Owen, so we're adopting the agenda.
Thumbs up.
Now we have to approve the October minutes.
Where are the October minutes?
They are actually right here.
Look at that.
They look very substantial to me. Lots of words in them. I
yeah, especially that one item on the idea of strategic planning is pretty extensive. So
that's a fantastic one.
Is there any reason why we shouldn't adopt these, or there's any questions we should have about these, Owen?
None that I know of.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
yep.
Then hearing no objection, I guess that's done too. Moving right along. Now we're into reports. Chair report. There's no chair here. Treasurer's report. I issued a treasurer's report. We have less money than we started the month with because we donated $500 to Olin's campaign and spent a bunch of money on Facebook ads, and there's more money yet to be decremented for the Facebook ads. That ended on the 8th of November, but I think we still owe $500 or something. So which is billed on my credit card. So I'll be taking that expense money out at some point in this month. We probably will end the month pretty much having spent all the money we plan to spend, which means it will be down to like a couple $100 or something like that starting December.
And what's our monthly increment? Oh.
We are making at the moment about $60 a month in recurring donations, and we have received considerable additional money this year. We have actually broken the all-time record for money revenues for the WakeLP, over $2,200 so far, with 6 weeks to go in the year. So obviously that's not just $60 a month. And we're spending $49 a month on repaying a loan that covers the cost of the database and website.
So we make 60, but we spend 40.
Right. So we're clearing $11 a month in recurring.
You set up a donation on like the 1st, then it'll always come out the 1st of each month.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. And all the officers have done that, with the exception of one.
This one. I have the link. I have the link.
I do believe that the link has been sent to this individual.
Yes.
What was the size of that loan?
It was about $500.
So we're paying off the loan.
Yeah,
But it's actually
basically Yeah, it'll be paid, 2 more payments and it'll be paid off, November and December.
And then we'll
The basic,
banking 60 a month.
yeah, the basic deal was, well, no, because the deal was that we paid a flat amount up front to Nation Builder and got a really lower rate than what they would have otherwise charged us.
Oh.
And I covered that, so in order to make it possible to do that. Okay. And then I'm taking what we would be paying monthly. So the $49 a month will
That's perfect.
keep going, to, but
That's
it'll go to Nation Builder, not to us. Not to me. Yeah. Okay, Oak and Dagger report. Who was at the Oak and Dagger? I was sick. I couldn't make it.
I was at the
Ben was there in person.
You weren't there either. Okay.
Uh,
Been there.
I can give the Oak and Dagger
Please give
report,
the Oak and Dagger
at least
report.
part of it. Only you can chime in, but the ambiance was very good, actually. And there were a number of things in its favor. Parking was extraordinarily easy. There were a lot of spaces. The food was, I thought, quite excellent. I had a couple of different taco-like things, mahi tacos.
Yeah,
chicken
that's what I
tacos.
usually do. You can get
They
the
were
menu you
really,
want, one
really good. But the menu had a bunch of things on it. And somebody else had a comment on the beer. I think I don't think I had any. But
Ken said the beer was good.
Yeah.
I-
it was also easy to talk, easy to hear, and we were able to get a table that was probably, strung together. It was probably 30 feet long, I would say. About that, Olin, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I would echo everything that Bruce has already said. I would point out that the staff was accommodating, which to me is a very important thing that we had at Gourmet Factory, probably the best feature that they had.
Not that we've had problems with the staff in any of the places you guys have recommended, that you guys have recommended.
They just seemed to be a little more just really ready and really there to help us out for
Oh, I'm
whatever
sorry I
we
missed
needed.
it. Did anybody think to test the Wi-Fi? Okay,
I did
well,
not.
I'm going to be going there, and of course we have another return visit, so I'll get that done.
I thought it was, in many ways, it had sort of ticked all the boxes.
That's good to hear.
Some of the places.
I will reserve judgment until I have a chance to see it
Concerned it
myself.
may not stay in business. Tyler's Tap Room out of business there. When I was there on a Sunday, it wasn't very busy. I was concerned that for a Sunday football afternoon, only about a quarter full. But that's not really our problem.
Right.
Well, if we have to relocate again, it'd be a pain in the butt, but anyway.
They'll make it do.
All right. On to the panel discussion overview. I have no idea what that is.
I just wanted to, we did finish all the panel discussions, and I wanted to get everybody's feedback, and
Oh,
I
the
presumed
special issues things. Okay.
special issues, pot and booze, we finished them all up, and I do think that we should accomplish the same sort of thing in an ongoing fashion, maybe adjust it slightly so that it is more has a result to the panel discussion, some sort of legislative idea that we could put forward to the General Assembly, for example. During the election year, I think it was important that we remained as nonpartisan as possible. But over the next year, I think it would be good for us to have at least maybe 3 or 4 of these where we focus on trying to get a result out of them.
Well, I think the special events are really great. My thinking would be that I like them also. I also like something we didn't do much this year because we had the kind of, the dance card was full with our own issues, but in the past we've had guests come in and talk, and that's been really nice. I mean, we had the Stop Torture Now folks come in. We had the Republican Liberty Caucus come in. We had a candidate a couple of cycles ago come in, a non-libertarians, as we had no libertarian candidates. Those have drawn reasonable crowds as well. With respect to the specifics of the panel discussions, I thought they went reasonably well. What was disappointing to me was that we didn't get more bang for our buck in terms of publicity. We got that one visit by Time Warner Cable to the very first one, but that was all. We never got anything else from any of them. Despite putting out, marvelous press releases by Owen or Sarah or whomever. I don't think we had a hint of another visit from the press. So I would have liked to see more, us get more publicity out of those things.
I seem to recall saying that Nicholas Sarwalk was putting his, I don't know, sort of a notice out there that he was available for speaking.
He does very well press-wise, yeah.
And he mentioned that he was doing some tours in various states. I didn't see nothing on it.
Oh, okay, right. Well, we had him here 2 conventions ago. It was great.
Oh, really?
20 to 30 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of listening for an attention span. If you want it to be fun and interactive, I think 20 to 30 minute presentation, 10 minutes of question and answer, definitely never longer.
Yeah, that's typically the format that the guest speakers have followed.
Yeah, we had a couple of them that they were an hour and a half or whatever. And only before something to be interactive.
Right. Well, I think that the guest speakers have the advantage of having given their presentation many times. That, we didn't have that.
Anybody can organize a presentation and keep it in a certain time.
Right. No, I'm just saying that you saw that the ones that were done by these other folks from college students saying agree.
Did we have any slides on that?
We never had anyone do slides on our presentations. They even virtually did great so much.
They had some slides here at Liberty on Bronx.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that size.
I think the venue would help. We had a couple of I think that's the right 20 to 30 minutes of your connecting. You have some discussion, and then you break up and people discuss in small groups, whatever.
Or whatever they want to do.
Yeah, or whatever, but it's not.
Hey, David, could you sit down so I can hear you a little bit better? I like hearing you.
I was just saying that the sessions.
David says they're too long.
They were too long, but otherwise they were generally pretty good. And
all right.
Obviously, we wouldn't do one during early voting in an election.
Okay, we got to keep moving here unless there's anything else. Can we move on to election report? Who's supposed to give that?
What? I'm sorry. What does it say? It says election report.
Yeah.
Just a summary. Let's have a summary about anything that needs to be said. I was disappointed with my result. I was superiorly happy about David Ulmer's result, having flipped that election, in my opinion. I can't say that empirically, but I'm very happy about what happened there. As far as statewide, and I know that doesn't pertain to our Wake County, but it still is of note that Nick out in Charlotte got 22%, and a gentleman up in Asheville, whose name escapes me, got 26%. I think, recall which of those 2 districts were unopposed districts, and it's a real shame we didn't have a candidate in those 2. Do you remember?
We didn't run someone, Joe John and Maryland Avila. That was decided by a few hundred votes last time I checked. There were 2, besides mine, there are 2 other districts in North Raleigh, house that were extremely close. Like, a circus clown who didn't participate in anything could have, walked away with 200 votes for people that like clowns. So, yeah.
Well, we'll fix that next time.
Yeah, so it just speaks, I do believe that, the whole reason I went up for election to begin with is because Brad and the executive committee in general said, hey, we want to get as many people out there. So just asking was enough to get me more involved. So I do think that we should take the same approach, that there's 3 levels of engagement in the next cycle.
Right. went on Friday. I know Cynthia Ball, as of like third quarter, had like $250,000 to her name as far as her campaign. So right there, I was outspent 50 to 1.
Yeah, actually, the counties are supposed to give the final results to the state on Friday,
Right.
but the state has until the 29th to actually collect them. So it's not going to be over that fast. And the counties also can ask for a delay. That doesn't happen. But it could happen. Okay. Yeah, my sense was that we learned a lot. I mean, my eyes were really open to the wonderfulness of early voting, where you have tons of people standing in line, bored out of their minds, very receptive to libertarian propaganda or probably any other propaganda. Although, interestingly, I worked 3 different early voting sites, and I never saw another candidate work a line. Another candidate of any party worked a line. Well, of course, I was the only libertarian there, but no Republican or Democrats were working the lines, which I found amazing because it's so much better working a line than it is just standing in one place.
Gary Pendleton worked late in
He did work the line?
And Cynthia Ball showed up late in the day where I was working on election day.
Okay.
So
I saw a judge working on here.
I saw judges also, and they were placed out at the place where people come in, and they weren't going up and down the line.
This guy was.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's clearly something that we need to plan on doing next cycle. David has pointed out that the turnout won't be likely as high. I think we almost got 70% in North Carolina, 67, 68%. That's not going to happen in 2018 again. Nevertheless, opening day and closing day will probably be pretty crowded at the early voting sites. So we should plan to get a candidate at each one if we can, in my opinion, from a tactical perspective. From a strategic perspective, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I was reading in Board of Election rules and whatnot that every party is allowed to appoint election observers that are allowed to be there. I don't know if there's any value to that, but it is certainly something we should question at one point.
Yeah, I would I would try to man the sites with somebody handing out literature before we start expanding beyond that. I mean, we only have 115, 130 volunteers at the moment. We still have 200 precincts in Wake County, so
right.
we got a ways to go.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
I did see one observer. I just sat there.
I saw one, and they police each other anyway. Like one of the parties, the Republicans handed flyers to an 8-year-old kid, and because he was a kid, he could get away with it. He was scooting in and out of the lines, and going everywhere, and basically forcing the paperwork into people's hands because he was a kid and could basically get away with it. But they policed him up. So to be honest, the Republicans and Democrats, if observers are felt to be necessary, they'll send their people out there. And in the process of them policing each other, I feel we're probably well served. I agree with Brad. I wouldn't spend resources on observers. I would much rather have somebody out there handing out "I love me" flyers.
Right. All right.
Totally agree. We can move on.
Moving on. Old business. EC meeting duration, frequency, and schedule. Olin, this is your item.
So I think it's necessarily a wise thing. Just like today, we're butting up against the 7 o'clock hour, and we really can't explore it as we would want to. I would prefer that we separate it to a separate night at somebody's house. It does not have to be directly tied with a social event, but we could, advertise it in the same way as we do the social events. As far as, I think we are better to move to the last week of the month, simply accommodating the election cycle. We had to cancel some our last couple of meetings because it was right before, right? So if we were to choose the last week of the month, we're always right before that first week in November. Thoughts about that? Agreements, disagreements?
I think your idea of moving it to where we have more flexibility with the time is great. I'm all for that. I think the end of the month is probably not a great idea because you run into too many holidays. And, what we should do maybe is just skip the November meeting, or we can do like we did this time and postpone it a couple of weeks. But you're going to run into Thanksgiving, you're going to run into Christmas, New Year's. At the end of the
True.
end of the month is, I think the beginning of the month makes more sense psychologically too, because you've got the month to, implement whatever you think about it, just from the point of view of psychology. That's not a big factor, but it seems, more sensible to me to do things at the beginning and rather than at the end when the time's already passed.
Well,
we had talked. Go ahead, Bruce, please.
Yeah,
go ahead, Bruce.
It was the other thing that you had on there, of once a month.
Yeah, well, once a month I think is very smart for during the election cycle. Nearer the end, we should meet more often. This also coordinates with the idea that I would prefer that executive committee members not be actual candidates. That's why we were struggling so much, and it's just another thing on a candidate's plate that they don't have to worry about. They shouldn't have to worry about come October.
Yes, clearly that would be ideal.
Preparing documents. And I think we can make that happen, and I think it's worth sacrificing one candidacy to make sure that, or two candidacies even, to make sure that doesn't happen. That's just an opinion. Thoughts?
I think we need to leave that up to the individuals. I think the individuals involved all were somewhat chastened by the fact that they had lots to do and not enough time. So hopefully that they will do all the appropriate lessons. Certainly that's the case for you and for me.
Yeah, no, I would say that it's very difficult to be both supporting all the candidates and also being a candidate. That's
right.
The purpose of the committee is to...
Yeah. So, Olin, would you care to take it under your wing to come up with a December meeting time that is not the hour before a meetup? And just
that sounds terrific to me.
And
I would like to say the first Thursday of December.
I would recommend December. Later than 6 p.m. It would be, more likely that people would be finished with dinner and, like at home and everything like that. And if you made it 8 or 9, I think that would be great.
How's 8 o'clock on the first Thursday of December?
Sounds reasonable to me. What day of the week is that? No one has a calendar, so don't answer that question. Let's see. Maybe I.
Okay. What actual date?
Go back to the calendar here. December. The first Thursday of December would be the 1st of December. Maybe we should make it the 8th of December. I mean, that's pretty soon. That's only like.
That sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Great.
December 8th.
Okay.
Okay. We make a motion for that. To switch or.
Well, it's your idea. You make a motion.
Okay. Well, I will make a motion that we move executive committee meetings from conjoined with the social meetings to the first or second Thursday of every month.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. All right. Good.
Unanimous consent.
Did you say what time?
He's going to do it at least on the first one. 8. We're not going to strap him into any particular time. We'll see how it works. Relocation committee, continue or move to poll members. I think basically after tonight we'll have been through all 5 of these places, and my plan is to create a page on our website, the WakeLP website that is, where folks can respond to a poll and blog the fact, that we're doing this. There's a newsletter going out on the 1st of December that will do that, of course. Just, as a way to raise awareness that we exist, that we're having fun and life is good, and get some participation and some interest. So that's basically the plan. That is what's on this agenda item something besides that?
I guess question.
I know we had discussed returning to each of the locations. That's why that's agendized.
Yeah, already scheduled. We have them every Wednesday between now and the end of December. There are 5 of them. We will be at one of these places.
So there was actually quite a bit of noise I heard outside of the committee meeting that people sort of just want us to pick something and go with it, and don't want to bebop around so much. Anybody
Okay.
have heard anything similar?
No, but I haven't been listening. So I mean, if that's what you all
Okay.
want to do, that's fine. We'll cancel the poll.
If I am, no, I don't. Yeah, I think we go forward with the poll for sure.
Well, what's the
I
point of having a poll if we've already decided? I mean, you know, if we're going to let it be participatory and let people have a chance to express their opinions, then that's fine. If we don't want to do that, that's fine too. I'm good either way. It's less work for me if we don't do a poll, so I'm fine without doing a poll.
Can we do the poll?
Well, I'm going to set it up this weekend. You guys can look at it and see if you like it, and then we'll publish it. I mean, you can't just leave it up for a day. It's got to be up for at least a couple of weeks.
Oh, well, for sure. But we don't need to wait for the poll to be up and after those 5 visits. Is that correct?
So we could also filter. So I've heard concerns that we shouldn't pick this place because it's kind of infringing on liberty on Fox and Greg is.
Yeah, I think the executive committee definitely gets to filter the poll.
So we can filter this.
The idea of the poll is not to, you know, have a democracy. It's to publicize the fact that we're going through this process and just get some attention.
That in mind, talking.
Okay.
And maybe agree when we're going concern maybe not the best feature selection. You know? So
Yeah,
that leaves here and where else? Where else do we have besides
Well,
here?
it doesn't leave here if you crossed
Well,
out
I mean,
here.
I'm sorry.
Trophy,
Cloak and Dagger and where else?
Clouds.
Clouds
trophy.
and Trophy. So those are 3 that I think those should be the 3 you present. So
Cloud, trophy.
Cloak and
Oh, I
Dagger.
see what you're saying. You said the poll should only have 3 places.
Yeah, so just put those 3. The EC is well within their rights to rule this place out
Right.
because I don't want to really, because Greg has a different demographic here, which I like, and I like
Right.
a different vibe.
Right.
And then with brewing concerns, there's nothing stopping us from June or May just saying, hey, spring weather.
For the summer, we
Because Ken really likes Linwood Brewing Concern. I love it. It's just the winter, that outdoor area just isn't quite
For the summer,
right
we
for
could.
some people. Yeah, but again, so as the weather gets changed and you know the day is longer, you get people outside, gorgeous. It's a great vibe for spring. I mean, I love that place. But just regardless of this. But I think say, you know, hey, whatever. And you agree something else this place.
We're saying trophy.
I don't know. Trophy's a little small. It's tough for That's
So that's the whole people should respond to. So
I am missing the conversation, by the way.
no worries. It's
Not
just
working.
it's really not an exciting conversation.
Hello?
It's about writing
Hello?
a paragraph. So we're gonna filter it to 3 places. We're gonna eliminate Nickelpoint and Linwood Brewing Concern and offer up 3 places to vote on. We'll have it up soon. We'll give everybody a week and a half, 2 weeks to vote on it and go forward. And hopefully not revisit it for at least 5 or 6.
Okay.
right. Close.
Assuming they stay open to the winter.
Okay.
Yeah. So in that case, I'm going to change the schedule, which currently we have all 5 places, you know, revisiting. I'll just do 3 places revisiting, and then we can make the decision. That'll be 3 weeks, and that'll work out just about right with the timing we've discussed. So the 3
I
places
think that's
that we revisit.
That's a really good idea because that way we establish a little bit faster and don't, you know,
Yeah.
have things so up in the air.
All right, so Clouds and Trophy and Oakwood, and then we make the decision.
When we move into January, we'll have it settled by January, and we'll move into the new year with a new home. I'll do that.
Well, we were going to do that anyway, but now it'll be a couple weeks sooner, which is
Yay.
fine. All right.
Yay.
Party organization and growth strategic plan. I think this is yours also, Owen. It's got lots of
Yeah,
stuff.
well, yeah, it's got lots of stuff there just as sort of guidance for what what I'm talking about. Bruce and I had brought this up, or just discussed this in the last meeting. I think, Bruce, is it recall correctly that we discussed a strategic document that somebody was going to develop?
Yeah, I mean, I think the point of this, point of a strategic plan is basically in a way that's a little less, chair, vice chair, secretary, and more functional.
Right.
Right. So that's what you have listed there, I think, Olin, is the topics that we want to cover. Sort of in perpetuity. These are
A schedule for implementation.
Right?
Or,
I mean,
and if something gets added to the list, it gets added to the list
absolutely.
as circumstances change or taken away from the list.
and leading up to the elections, of course, everything changes.
Well, what I would like to do is basically establish who is the primary responsibility for that document right now. That's what I want to accomplish.
This document here? Yeah, right. We need somebody to be able to.
Well, now you have expressed some interest in the LPNC strategic plan and asked me a bunch of questions, which I
actually
have not answered. But I do plan to now that I can catch my breath. Would you be willing to take on the responsibility of doing something similar for Wake?
Yeah, I would be willing to do that.
Okay, cool. So Bruce has volunteered.
That's good, Bruce. I have a bunch of writing and STEM stuff. You've seen some of it, and I'll turn that over to you and see if we can work together as much as you want me to.
Absolutely. I would value your.
And Ken Kankowski.
Olin is going to assault your inbox.
Ken Kankowski is the partner author of the LPNC strategic plan. You probably know, or maybe you don't know. But anyway, he's the author also. Getting straight.
There's Ken.
Speaking of
Somebody say Ken?
that's amazing. I just mentioned your name and you appear. I'm telling you. All right, so we're on to new business, and still 19 minutes to go. We may yet disprove your theory, Owen. High schools and universities annual registration clubs, civic classes.
So, Brad, you and I talked about that this week, and I just wanted to identify to the executive committee some of the efforts that are actually going on. We moved my date for Apex High School. I'm going to be speaking at one of their political, sort of student political club. But I think we need to build into our schedule support for registering students for those for elections, for voter registration, each year with incoming classes. I think studies prove that people with whom they register, they tend to affiliate. I know it's not really cool that Democrats sort of say, hey, become a Democrat, and Republicans do that. But if they know you're a libertarian and they're registering with you, they often are going.
We lost him? Oh, that's why we lost him.
So I'd like to build that into the series.
Got Olin in there.
And you're good with that. Just turn it, just
Power it on.
you don't have to power it off. You just have to end the connection.
Wow, that took a long.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, so I want us to
Olin.
build in.
We need.
He's gonna throw it. Are you gonna?
No, he's not going to throw your phone. Don't be silly.
Drop it down the sewer.
It's just important for us to build into our schedule these party growing things, and one of them is being involved in civics classes, civics classes, hearing at those with Democrats and Republicans along that side, a very nonpartisan approach, but also the registration drives.
Now,
Showing up and helping people, and it shows, right? Because if you're going to be a libertarian and sell that whole, we believe in volunteer, blah, blah, blah.
That's a great idea, but has nothing to do with high schools.
Right. Well, we could work it through the high school.
I would. Yeah, but high school people can't vote.
Well, we can.
They will if we adopt our plank to have 16-year-olds vote in school board elections. But
Yeah, but the thing is about growing the future, and if we get in the high schools help with registration, that increased visibility
Right.
means will result in more libertarian.
I need to bring Bruce just very swiftly up to speed as to what we talked about, which is that prior to getting shanghaied into running for state senate a year ago, I was working on a project with the chair of the Republican Wake County Party and the Democratic Wake County Party to put together a presentation which all three parties would give at middle schools and high schools at, upon request by civics classes or whatever. And then I started running, and it wasn't really appropriate for me to be doing some nonpartisan thing when I was a candidate, and so I dropped it. But I want to pick it up again now that I'm not a candidate. So that's basically the plan. So that would be a longer term thing that we would set up, and then anybody, well, not anybody, but various people in the WakeLP could give this thing at their local school. We would have a presentation kind of ready made for them to give. So that's the plan for that.
It would seem to me that this fits under this sort of general strategic plan. This is like
This is actually
a specific new thing
stuff that is going on currently.
right.
Yeah.
So
it's something that
as a
Everything will fit under the strategic plan, right?
right.
All right.
So all should. Absolutely.
Okay, so moving on right along. This is the last item.
Is that
organizational.
first one? Is that the
outreach.
Ukrainian group that?
Pink Pistols? I don't know if it's Ukrainian. It's
Or is
a gay gun rights organization.
Oh, it's a gay gun.
Yeah, they're local.
Not like Ukrainians
Pink
trying to
Pistols
overthrow.
is actually not local. We have.
What do they know? What do they
like
want?
to get one.
Why does it say NAACP?
These are organizational outreach items. Oh, that didn't translate well into this.
It's not a choice I want to make.
Tabs didn't work well.
Yeah, it looks good. There's a list of things there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pink Pistols, Libre Institute. I'm currently involved with Libre and Justice Served, and sort of NAACP through Justice Served. But it is important for us to have those established relationships.
I have some contacts with the ACLU and Common Cause, which I'd be happy to turn over to somebody that would actually do something with them.
Right. So it'd be good if we had one person that was going to each of
Seems
these.
like the secretary would be a very reasonable choice for that.
What, to all of them? I mean, as far as attendance for things, it'd be good if we had an LP.
Also,
person.
these guys are potential candidates for coming in and doing presentations.
Correct.
Special presentations. So.
Correct. So again, as to stuff that's currently going on, Libre Institute, Justice Served, I think it's important that we support some way outright Raleigh, and some way getting a Pink Pistols chapter here in Raleigh. It just increases the number of libertarian converts.
Sounds good.
Right.
Maybe we can actually do a.
That's fine. Just to note the way you selected those, you picked all basically people on the left. Like I don't see like a Chamber of Commerce. And to be honest,
Where is
actually-
the NRA on this list?
Actually, I went
Gun
to.
Rights North Carolina, but I mean,
GR,
again, the
right.
Chamber of Commerce, for example, has actual money.
Right.
And most, as you pointed out, I pulled off Republican Pendleton votes for upset about HB2, which is everything North Raleigh. Because I'm like, so just point out,
Anybody need
this is
anything?
very centered on your district, which I'm
Yes.
cool with. But my district was 85% white with an $80,000 a year average income, so.
We're very open to adding to these organizational outreaches. Those
Yes.
were just the ones I threw up there. So you were very apt in recognizing that's my district.
Chamber of Commerce has money. Those groups.
All right, Brian's here. Move to adjourn.
Quite seriously, that's where we are.
But I would.
Yeah, that seems like a great thing to also have under the.
Well,
I mean-
We need to identify more groups that can be under that
Right.
organizational outreach. With
Who have money.
yeah, so
money is good.
I mean, we're going to have probably more things to do than we have, like,
people or
and
time. Yeah.
to do. So we are going to have to
That might not
prioritize.
actually be accurate.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
the person that we would talk to about that would be Susan Hogarth.
Yeah.
And she basically has accumulated a body of people who
Like
want to give
300
time,
people statewide.
want to present some effort. So the necessity that we have in terms of being able to man these or body these are, human these is.
I have a request into her for her list of nation builder people, which is the most important thing to me. There's supposedly 6 of them, and her list to import into nation builder of all the supposedly 40,000 or 20,000 or 10,000. I've heard different numbers of whatever it is. So as soon as we get those data for Wake, I mean, it'll be a subset, obviously, whatever she gives me.
So
We'll report that in.
pertaining to that, I am taking as one of my goals this year to get to all 3,000 houses.
4,000.
4,000 houses in Wake County.
4,132.
Wow. By the pyramiding, as Brian.
Oh, where's the pyramiding? You were
It's
supposed to
there.
add that.
It's up there on number 3.
Where?
Up for old business.
Oh, we missed it.
Mary Kay or Herbalife.
Right, we're gonna pyramid the heck out of those crabs.
It works.
Crabs.
Scheme. We went up. We
Yeah.
missed it.
So that's going to be my goal, to get that one person and those 2 people.
Is that like a
those 4
Ponzi
people.
scheme?
We're going to
Kind
Ponzi the
of.
heck
The
out of
idea is that we
It
have
works for Social Security.
now over 4,000 people registered as libertarian in Wake County, of which, well, I shouldn't say of which. We have approximately 700 email addresses, 700, 800 email addresses, many of whom are not registered libertarians. So we probably have 10 to 15% of all the registered libertarians' contact information, which means that the other 80 to 85 to 90% we are not in regular contact with.
The primary goals I'm working for is data. And if we get 1% active, we get 40 people.
Bingo.
Which knocks us out of the park.
Right.
For upcoming.
Yeah. So you're not going to be alone in this. We're going to be coordinating. I have at least 5 or 6 people who are willing to do their own precincts.
Okay.
Now
I would like to go top to bottom on the list, me personally.
Well, you're welcome to do that, but I'm just saying you're not going to be the only person necessarily. And
we just need to
it
coordinate.
probably makes sense for you to prioritize places that someone hasn't been first, and then if you want to go and revisit some place somebody's visited, that's fine. In fact, it'll be better for you if you wait, because then you won't have all these dead addresses that don't have anybody there, because we'll window those out.
Right.
But that's really good that we have potentially manpower bodies.
I do believe
So we need to align the bodies with the plan.
And so
And then keep asking and making sure that the bodies are executing the plan.
the good news, as far as what Susan has offered to do,
I feel like I probably have some crops.
when we say we have a need for bodies to do this task, we call Susan. Susan might have 10 bodies who can make a meeting at the same time.
That's probably.
And she will give us feedback as to fill. But she's willing to be that intermediary because she's organized the folks with the Johnson.
Yeah, well, I think Susan's going to be focusing on the state level stuff. So for Wake County, we're going to probably have to take that information and just use it ourselves rather than depending on a Wake County day.
Based on the conversation that we had with her, is
She's excited about coordinating with us. Wants to run for
She wants to run for state chair, right?
So, but it's a good platform for taking off into that good close coordination.
Well, we should try to take on, as Wake, we should try to take on as much as we can to free state up to do what they do.
well, I would say that my take from the conversation that we had is that she would like to use Wake as a seed for what she'd like to do for the state. So for her to be able to implement what she wants to do, we need to be able to.
Hey, any contributions gratefully accepted. I'm just saying, I'm not counting on a lot from her because I know she's got a lot on her plate.
What are the most active counties? Wait, but what others?
Well,
Buncombe, New Hanover, Mecklenburg, Randolph,
Buncombe
Haywood.
is
Buncombe is
Haywood.
Asheville.
Which one?
Asheville. Asheville's the
I can get you
Cities
a.
and cities
Haywood
will
is
be
next to Buncombe. Henderson, which is to the southeast of Asheville. Buncombe is also very active.
I can get you a spreadsheet that Ray
Sort of like,
Ubinger puts
they're sort of
out.
like pockets, basically. They're the most.
He actually tracks growth over in different segments. of
Right,
time.
but he's asking about activity, which doesn't necessarily, I mean,
I know we're very
Watauga-
active here in Wake.
Watauga has the biggest growth, but they don't have an
Well,
active
I would
affiliate.
say
Orange is pretty active.
Greensboro is pretty active, and
Yeah.
Charlotte's pretty active.
That's because Brandon disappeared off the face of the planet.
Who's Brandon?
I mean, it's
Okay, so
well, obviously that's a state.
can we come to a close, or does anybody have anything further?
Yes, we can. I just want to show Bruce what I've got here in the way. This is a list of all of the precincts in Wake County, and each one is matched with volunteers that we already have. These doesn't include any of the Susan people because I don't have those yet. So you can see that we clearly have lots of precincts with nobody, but there are also some precincts with multiple people.
So in an off election year, like next year, what would somebody who is a volunteer in precinct do?
Go around, knock on every door, get email, get phone numbers, find out who has 9mm ammo just in case civilization collapses. You know where to go if you need it.
That'd be cool.
That kind of thing. Plus, potentially get involved with a citizen advisory board if you're interested in whatever topic they're talking about, or get involved with one of our panels to talk about.
And we have the emails of all these volunteers?
All the volunteers, almost all the volunteers, we have emails, but there's a handful that we don't.
We need to get skills inventories. I have a roughed out document.
So we could send out an email saying, I don't know.
Email's really not that great. Susan has discovered text messaging is good. If you, for the kind of thing you're talking about, a skills thing, you really need to call them and talk to them, and you get a better sense of what they're after.
So if we said to everybody, like send out a text message saying, everybody post on Facebook.
Yeah,
Libertarians are taking over.
That's good for that.
We'd suddenly see a flood of
Potential.
I like that. That's really cool.
I call, we're done?
Call the question.
Motion to adjourn. Seconded.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You don't want to adjourn?
I can say aye.
Done.
Did you
With
notice
5
that?
minutes to spare. So much for your theory that we need more than an hour.
See? You just blew it. Oh, what the hell?
My
Should have made a
post
bigger
on
joke.
the WakeLP Facebook page got over 1,900 views.
Sweet.
1,900 views.
Yeah, that definitely got a lot of people.
I was like, I didn't even understand why. I was like, why that one? It says must read. That's why.